Facts. Yo, what is up? Welcome to the 5-Star live stream. I'm out here with my boy Don Tez, aka Tez Unplugged. You know what time it is, man. We don't rug pull you like Bitcoin and all these other cryptos out here. We bring it to you real. We bring it to you live at the 5-Star live stream. Today we're going over some hot topics. Tez, bruh, tell them what's going on up on our side of the world.
Yes, sir. We are thriving and upgrading the podcast every day, bringing it to you live. Another show. As you see, the podcast is just getting better, and we're going to keep progressing and bring you these live, good quality shows. And the show does not stop. It goes on, and we are going to keep bringing it to you fucking live from the 5-Star family.
Yes, sirski. And whoever did the background, thank y'all. I didn't even see that happen, man. I thought we went in, we went out. Now we're back here. Shout out to y'all guys, man. I really appreciate this. So look. Today, just like you're probably seeing in the title by the time you see this video, we're going to talk to you about the ongoing, perpetual slop that is the dating community of the modern 2025 era. But there is this like mentality going around, and I want to address this mentality for a moment, right? The mentality is something along these lines. The mentality goes like, we've already seen these people do dating podcasts, and we've already seen the treachery of women, and we've already seen what's going on in this dating space. Oh man, is that not interesting? Do we need it anymore? Well, if you think things are going to be fine, go out there, go ahead, try it. I want to see y'all date. I want to see y'all do it without our advice, without our experience. Go fucking good luck. And to all those who think that you don't need it, that's fine, man. Get the fuck off this channel. We don't need you here. But if you are out here looking for magical experiences, if you do want to experience true love, if you do want to experience being in a dating, if you want to thrive in that abundance that we have for you, man, 5-Star live stream is the spot for that. There is no losing on this side of the internet. Yeah, there are a lot of haters, but we're about to break down the real information for you guys to put you on top of the game.
Yes, sir. We're going to jump right into it and give you some fucking heat and some value. Let's get it.
So the video that we're going to actually play you guys today is by a user that I've been actually like popping in and out of for some time now, right? And his name he goes by Moon. And I want to say I've been watching that channel since like its beginnings, and I liked it. He does like video essays. If you guys don't know that, it's a YouTube niche. It's a YouTube thing called a video essay, where you just kind of like write an essay, or you speak an essay and you speak it audio, and then you put like cool graphics on top of the audio, right? So if you ever wrote an essay in school, congratulations, Tez, bro. There's a whole other video reaction that I want to do with you, where it's like reacting to the current upbringing of children in the American school system and how far gone the kids are. Like I want to sit down with you and talk about that, and how that also affects like the dating space in America in general. But today, we're talking about people that are of dating age, and this user Moon. Yo, shout out to you, Moon. We're playing your video right now. Fair use. Just putting that in the video. And man, if you'd ever like to hop on over here, do a little live stream with us, 5-Star welcomes you. But producer Billy, let's get this reaction going. I really want to like talk about it and play a video from this user Moon on YouTube. And he's going to give us a really good breakdown of what modern day dating looks like right here, right now. Let's take a look. Yo, and that being said, make sure you follow us and subscribe at 5-Star Livestream right now, man. Each and every one of you subscribers making us great every single day. Make sure to follow us on Twitter, man. We are dropping content over there consistently. All right, pause it for a second. Bruh, all right. I've got like a million things to say on what we're seeing so far. What do you think about what we got from User Moon, bruv?
Yeah, bro, it's some deep shit, some real shit. I'll let you jump right into it first.
All right, let's get into it, right? Okay, so first of all, look at how the dating space has changed, right? This is really big. Like, remember, I am walking, talking, living proof. Yes, coffee, please. 100% need it. I am living proof of the time where I was talking with men who would only speak about dating the way that they truly wanted to date in secrecy. I am from that generation. I am from that era. I'm from the locker room talk era. I am from the time where guys were like, yeah, man, but you can't say that to the girls, or like you got to like say it this way, or like, you know what it was? It was dudes would speak in secrecy. That's what it was. Men would speak in secrecy about what they truly wanted from dating, right? So you have to see that in coming from that era, we're swinging now. Like, we're not going down without a mother effing fight all the way. This is a bloodbath of love being a battlefield, you know? Us doing everything that we have to do to date and love and live the way that we truly are meant to be fruitful and multiply. And I know previously watching this guy, Moon, his content, shout out to you, Moon, but I believe if I was in a conversation with you, I'd ask you, you know, back when you were first making these videos, this is the type of topic that you would never touch, but now it's hit the mainstream, and now you're free to cover it, and now the people on the internet are talking about it. Now it's a topic that's blown wide open. So this is how bad it is, because if men were not being secret, like in speaking in secrecy at that time, there may have been a better chance of dating being a very successful atmosphere today. But that isn't what happened, and we are at the pinnacle of the worst dating experiences that we can ever have. We're in a depopulation, real-time extinction level event. And you cannot tolerate that, because if you tolerate that, tolerance is extinction. Now, there's a lot of points that were just mentioned in that clip that I want to address, right? Number one, yo, Tez, bro, like, dating has become super fucking transactional, right? And this is what I mean by that. Like, when I was going to school, and, you know, you're feeling what you feel for the first time around women that you're having a crush on, by the time that you pass the note to someone, or by the time that you've gone on a date or had like some intimate kisses or whatever, these are the times where you were able to be like, okay, I understand what I'm gaining from the human experience. I know that I want to, if I could, I'd probably rather go on a mission. And if you don't know, like out here in Florida, we would use that term all the time. Like, if you're going to go meet up with girls and you're going to do anything with them, our word was like mission. Like, I'm going on a mission to go get, like, seal the deal with some chick, right? So you came to the determination, like, do I want to go on a mission, or do I want to go out and like hustle, or do I want to go and do homework? You know what I mean? So you probably would lean towards hustle, like towards your hobbies, or going on a mission. And the last freaking thing you want to do is homework, right? So that's how it was at that time. But at that time was like the hottest hip hop music that ever came out. I'm talking 50 Cent, Eminem, Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg. Like, dude, bruh, hip hop, Young Jeezy, Lil Wayne, like hip hop was at an all-time high. However, remember, these hip hop music labels are owned by corporations, and we live in a corporatocracy, as I just was talking about in the Zeitgeist video with the Zeitgeist addendum. And these corporations were pushing songs that were absolutely debaucherous. I've done hip hop for a long time. I have my own. I've produced my music. I've done my own songs. I'm a rapper in the past as well, and I'm getting into that life because it was so popular. Like, you want to be a part of it. And I'm telling you this: as soon as I get in front of a microphone, and it never like was like in my mindset to just be negative AF. Right? It was never my mindset to be like, yo, I want to kill somebody, want to make sure that they die, pop, pop, pop. Or I want to throw money at this girl, make her twerk it, make her have, like none of that is in me. You know what I mean? Mine is more like just fun. Like I'm in it. Like I'm having fun like in real life. Like it's kind of like a reflection of who you are in reality. And songs are powerful. What you say in songs come back tenfold. So the songs that they were pushing at this time were all about transactional sex. And what I'm seeing in the modern day of how this all played out in 2025 is that this transactional behavior that was talked about in songs, like, yo, I got that money, throw it on her back, make her twerk, all that, thank you, has actually manifested into reality. So what that means is that a person like myself or a person like Dantes has been able to compartmentalize, like, okay, here is music, here's the music video, I am watching this music on YouTube or listening to this music in my car, and it is fun to listen to, and it's the kind of club that I prefer to be in, and it's the music I like to like be around, and yeah, I'll be around people that reflect that. But I still am able to decipher my dating life into a whole different reality, and I'm most likely attracted to the exact opposite of myself. So if I'm a super hood, gangsta ass American boss with millions of dollars, I probably want someone that's not like that, the exact opposite of me, right? However, the transactional marketplace of dating today has become the absurdity of transactional dating, to the point where it now looks like, while me and Dantes were able to decipher these things, and you might have been able to decipher these things, other people weren't. They accepted this music as reality. They accepted the social conditioning. They accepted the propaganda. They accepted it into their mind. They really believe in the transactional nature of dating. So what will happen is, like, again, if you are out there in the world and you're talking to a girl, first and foremost, if you've ever experienced talking to a modern day woman, she's going to compartmentalize you into some area. So she's going to look at you. She's going to look at your Instagram dating profile or your Instagram profile. She's going to try to figure out who you are in real life. And in her mind, and I've broken this down, unfortunately, women are stupid as fuck when it comes to Instagram. Women are the dumbest creatures on the planet when it comes to how they accept information. And they accept information as reality from the internet. So, like, I know Instagram to all you guys is just a toy, but to them it's real. It really matters to them. They really feel and perceive and conceptualize and read the details of this information as reality. The most attention on you means that she wants the attention from you. So she's going to put you in a hierarchy. And where she puts you in this hierarchy, she's expecting transactional based attention. So because of that, you're ending up in a situation where it's like, yo, you go to the bar for the first time. Bro, literally, I've had conversations with women during this like time. I've done Matchmaker, Fresh and Fit, out here doing 5-star. And when I talk to a girl and I reverse the roles, girls will say something like this, Tez. They'll say, oh, man, if I
was a guy, I would totally be the biggest player in the world. I'd be so good. I'd walk up to the club and be like, hey, mama, let me buy you a drink. Let me throw some drinks at you. And that's
all it takes. That's all they need. Just buy her a couple drinks, and she's going to go home with you and sleep with you and be with you for the rest of your life and be loyal to you and be in your kitchen and take care of you from just getting her some drinks at the bar. Now, I have a bunch of other points, but bruh, what is the heinous treachery with that logic?
Yeah, that is insane and crazy. And it's very transactional. To go off what you were saying, the dating world is very transactional today because each gender, they really don't like each other like as a person. So it's like, I don't like you, but I have to deal with you because I want sex. Whether it's a girl wanting sex from a man or a man wanting sex from a girl or woman, they don't really like each other as a person. They don't like how each other behaves, but they have to deal with them because they need to deal with them because they want to get sex at the end of the day. So it's so transactional because I don't even really like you as a person, but I only need you for this one reason. So that's what I think. That's another reason why I think it's very transactional because we're not like giving each other the chance to actually like each other. We don't know what the other person wants. So then it's like, I don't even like you, but I do want sex at the end of the day. So it's like, I guess I'll deal with you. So that's one thing. And then as far as like everyone being, no one's talking to each other. It's kind of like you go to the store and you don't even have to, it's contactless pay. You don't have to talk to anyone. You can just DM girls on Instagram and whatnot. In today's world, having discipline is more important than ever because everything's at your fingertips. If you want to watch porn, it's right there on your phone. If you want to talk to a girl or meet a girl, you can download a dating app. You can hit her up on social media. So you had to do things back in the day that were uncomfortable in order to get what you wanted. Example, like go out and go talk to a girl at a bar, or at a club, or at the grocery store. You like had to do these things because social media didn't exist. Now you can pretty much get everything you need to get done from your bed, at home, on your phone. So you need to realize that everything's easy to access, so you need to practice some self-restraint and say, you know what, maybe this isn't best for me right now because I'm taking the easy way out. And as humans, we're naturally lazy. We naturally do the easy thing, take the easy way out. So you need to be aware of that and say, you know what, let me practice some self-restraint. And yes, it's easy for me to watch porn. So you know what, let me not do this. Yes, it's easy for me to just download a dating app and talk to girls on there. Instead, be like, you know what? Let me make myself uncomfortable, get out of my comfort zone so I can grow. Let me go out and actually approach a girl, even if you have approach anxiety, if you get approach anxiety, or if you're scared or whatnot. That same feeling is the feeling is what's going to make you grow. So be aware of these things. Just because it's easy doesn't mean you're going to get the best reward from it. A lot of times what's easy you don't get the biggest reward for that. Now what's hard, when you do what's hard, that's when you get the best reward. So a lot of times, some of the best relationships that I've had, I've met them by going outside. It wasn't on a dating app, and I'm not saying you can't meet good people on dating apps or on social media. It's there, but just realize that everything's at your fingertip in today's world. That doesn't mean that's always what's best for you. It's easy to get the dopamine rush from your room or wherever, from your house, and not having to go outside and do what's difficult. So the takeaway from this is, do what's difficult because that's what's going to make you better and get you out of your comfort zone. Even though it sucks, it feels uncomfortable, you don't want to do it, it's hard. But that same reason of why it makes you feel all those ways that it's hard and it's uncomfortable, that's the same exact reason why it's worth doing because you're going to get the result that you want.
Yo, big facts. And before I get into my next point here, check this out, right? One of the dudes that we had in the Brotherhood earlier this year, right? His thing, like the best thing about him that he brought to the table that he was trying to put the other guys on game with is that he mastered like dating profiles, dating apps, right? Like that was his thing. What he would do is he'd make dating apps he'd make dating profiles on dating apps, and he would do high definition photography, and he would make sure that he made himself look like he was doing something active, doing something cool, and he was like selling himself on the dating apps very well, right? And then he would get the other guys to do their dating profiles like that. But like when I'm talking to them, I tell them like, look, that's cool, that's great. I'm glad you guys are listening to FNF, or like you're getting some skills here. You're messing around with some of your profiles and you're getting some like action from that. But like me, I'm cold approach. I meet people in real life. I do my marketing. Like if you meet me, you talk to me, I know you, I'm networking. You know, that's kind of like how I'm gonna do it. Dating apps just isn't for me, right? So then I go and I start talking to him, do some Zoom calls, do some like podcasts and whatnot. And I talked to him and I like really talked to him about what is that like? You know, once you've made your dating profile look good and you go through that, what are you actually experiencing? And he basically put it like very straightforward, like the girls get to come over, and I have like my date timed out, and I kind of like figure out like when I'm gonna like bring her like a mint, or when I'm gonna eat with her, or when I'm gonna blah 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 eventually have sex with her, right? And he basically went on to describe that like their interaction would be mechanically like that. So there's a format, there's a template, right? And then they would lose interest in each other, and it would just keep happening. So he'd keep swiping and keep getting a girl and keep having sex and losing her to the cycle. So then what he went on to reveal is that like you're basically on a conveyor belt of people that are doing this. So basically it's a conveyor belt of all the same people swiping in all the same areas, all having sex with each other. And the way that he broke this down was like the saddest existence, bro.
It's fucking terrible. And another thing with that is why you want to do the hard thing first is because when you take the easy way out, it's like you're moving backwards. It's like you're starting from the end and then you're going backwards. So if you're a guy who has a dating app, a good dating profile, but you don't really talk to girls, you've maybe a version of you only had sex a couple of times, that's great. You have a dating app. Now when you get on the first date, what do you say? Do you know how to convey yourself in an attractive way? So it's like, yes, it's great to have a dating app. It's great to be on social media, have a good profile so you can get dates. That does work. That's a real thing. But first you want to build the skills so when you get on the date, you actually know how to close the date and be attractive to the girl. Because it's like if you have all this shit in order as far as the dating app, the cool profile, you look cool, but then she sees you in person and you don't know what the fuck is going on. You don't have any social awareness, social calibration. Then all that dating app shit, it didn't really mean anything. So it's like, yeah, we live in a world today to where you don't have to go cold approach girls because we have social media, but you still want to do that just so you can build the skills. So when you do get her on the date, you can actually close the date and she'll find you attractive. Because getting her on the date is more of like a back end game. Now the front end game is her finding you attractive and you being able to, take it to your crib or do whatever you need to do to close the date. So put in that work on the front end, which is the hard work, going out cold approaching, building your social skills with women or with people. And then that way, when you're in a situation where you have the opportunity to close to get what you actually want, you know how to close a deal because you put in the work on the front end. A lot of times the back end is more everyone's different. A lot of times the back end is more like the easy part when you have her on the date and whatnot. And then the front end is the harder part to where you first need to get her on the date, but either way it goes, you need to do the hard stuff so you can become attractive so you can get what you want.
Yes. And what you like, look, there's 3 cold approaches up in here. We're telling you what's really going on. So let's break this down for what it really is. On the topic of porn, when Moon was just bringing that to the discussion, right? Yes, we live in a world where you can literally have a variety of pornography to move your sexuality into. Now, what is sex for men? Sex is the most powerful force in nature. I could not think of something more powerful than the sexual force of male masculinity. And let's break that down. What does that mean? That means that in order to have sex with women, men as a collective gender went out of their way to build society for women to have comfort so that men could have sex with them. If you were to take me and walk me through my house, every item, every dollar, every ounce of energy, any material that you've seen me purchase has been done with the thought in the back of my mind of like, this is gonna equal more sex. You feel me? Every detail, when I first walked into the apartment, I could see myself having sex there. I'm gonna do XYZ to do XYZ to get more of that, right? Now, sex is a powerful force for both men and women, but there is a little bit more to it than just the sexual part, right? Now, let's break that down. See, men are a very romantic gender. Women are usually the recipients of that romance, and we are better together. We're better when we work together as a unit. In fact, working together as a unit would end all the problems that we're dealing with in most modern day propaganda, because the gender war that we're currently experiencing in real time is a mechanism of propaganda. But since men are the ones who have the monopoly on force, shout out to you, Andrew Wilson, the Crucible. Met you in real life. I think you did too, yeah, when we were out there. Yeah, he was a cool dude. That's something he says. And men own the monopoly on force, right? And actually, I saw Pearl break this down too. See, if we really, really wanted to, as men, we could put girls in cages and take sex from them, right? We just could, if that's all we really wanted, we could just take it. We could just take it. But we don't do that. And the reason we don't do that is because we don't want just sex. So what does that mean? That means that you want a partner, someone that you can walk and talk with, someone that you can enjoy your time with, somebody that can be a part of your mission, somebody that walks lock and step with you, somebody that shares your ideology. You know, you need a human experience. So now let's break that down, right? The porn industry is specifically created by a very specific group of people that are very easy to identify if you have a brain in your head in this modern day. And when they put out these mechanisms of war to destroy you, and they're successfully doing that to the culture, yes, they are destroying the sexuality because they know that you need sexuality to function as a unit. But because sex is not the only thing, this is what puts you in a dangerous position with these dating apps. You have to understand, the reason that there's so many homeless people in California is because all of these like donate to charity companies that they have that are supposed to like bring people out of homelessness are the very same companies putting people in homelessness. The very medical industry that is supposed to be curing you and taking care of your health makes money off you being sick. The very dating apps that specifically are promising you the ability to spend a little money and get together for the love of your life, make money, making sure you don't have exactly that. So when you got to understand, sex is absolutely the goal. Like when you're with the girl and you're trying to figure out the chemistry between you guys and you want to move towards that mission and you want her to be in your life, get the sex and take that shit as fast as you possibly can. Don't slip up on that. If you guys can do that together, do it together. But it cannot be your only sole purpose, because you see the story that I just told you with that guy, they used his sexuality as a trap to keep him on a rotating clock, on a rotating cycle of empty sex with people that have no intention of really being in a relationship. So they're on a conveyor belt of like fruitlessness. Now, if you end up in a situation where you're having like weekend sex or just like sex with people that are never going to be in a relationship with you or never see you as a candidate or never see you as an option or never be on your team or never be a part of what you're building, you are going to successfully have like a window where you performed really well, you know, in a 12-month year. Maybe you were doing really good in March and you were doing really good in April, but that cold winter's coming, boy. And when that cold winter's coming and she's cuffed up with somebody else, or the last three are cuffed up with someone else, or they just do what girls do, float off into the fucking, in reality, float off into nothingness, right? Because, I mean, how many girls have you met in your life that were like there and then it's just like float away, right? This is what they do. They're just girls. They're mostly for fucking, like, what? Yeah, but like when you catch one like a Pokemon, you got to bring it into your mold and you got to teach it your ways and you got to teach her how to be a part of your life. And if you cannot do that with the person, then it's going to lead into like what Moon is talking about here, where your relationship style isn't distinguished. And like to Tez's point, you know, you need to be able to speak in a way that is attractive, but you yourself need to be attractive. You need to not talk dope. You need to be dope. You can't just like show discipline and meet the goals. You got to have like this discipline, moving the goals, moving your legacy forward, bro. You got to align with so many things that have to at pull these things in while you're actively pursuing these things. So before we keep playing that, yeah, Gen Z, if you guys don't listen to us, bro, you cooked.
Facts. Let's keep watching. Let's get it.
Let's roll it. Make sure that you follow us on every single one of the profiles, man, at 5-Star Livestream on Instagram and Twitter and YouTube and Facebook and everywhere, bruv. We are all over the internet. We got some more community-based things coming for you soon. All right, yo, pause it there. Yeah, I want to get into the biological warfare after, because that's going to be a whole other thing. But, bruv, like, before I go into this here, right, not having community, like he was just talking about, is a huge problem. Like, we really are coming from the 1950s mentality as men. We really are hardwired to be like, well, I'm going to go to work, I'm going to get myself a car, and when I get myself a car, I'm going to be a more reliable man. And because I have a little bit more money and I'm a little bit more reliable, I'm a lot more equitable for dating. I'm quite the eligible bachelor. I can bump into Daisy across the street there on my way to the bank, and when I bump into Daisy, I'm going to meet up to her, and I'm going to say hi, and me and her are going to have a kid, and we're going to put $2,000 down on a mortgage, and I'm going to go walk across the street to the bank and work there for 40 years and be great, right? We're really coming off that mentality. Whereas today, you know, it's actually an extremely sad thing. Let me give you like a real story here, right? I come back from college, and it must have been like a year or two after I came back from college. I go drive by my old high school, and I'm having thoughts to myself like, man, I really finished college and stuff. Maybe I should go speak at my old high school, or, you know, kind of like excite the kids or get them innovated to like why they need to go to college or why they should do XYZ and go for their dreams. Or like, you know, I had actually in my life experienced a lot of things that were going to like prevent me from having any success in life. And then I said, you know what, I'm gonna just go down harder and work, and I accomplished it. So let me go share that like good juice and that good sauce with my high school. And then, you know, so I'm driving by my old high school, and I'm literally in my head having images and memories of like how fun high school was for me. And in that thought process, I'm thinking like, bro, I'm with the boys. We're all like roughhousing. We're all like, you know, listening to music or like chilling with each other. Or I'm like with the girls. We're hugging each other. Things are cool. Like, we're going to miss each other. We're not going to see each other anymore. We're on the bus and all that good stuff, right? It's a really good time. And I drive by my old high school, and I'm expecting that feeling. I'm expecting to see that. And then I see the kids come out, and they all have, all of them, you could see them, all of them have AirPods on. All of them literally walking like 3-4 feet apart from each other. Nobody talking to each other. Just walking outside like drones. Everybody's quiet like this. Walking onto the bus quietly. Just nothing, bro. No personality. No life force. Nothing left inside them. And that was a huge like shocker for me. Like, I was not expecting that. I didn't expect to see like, man, life is really like going good on the trajectory and path that I set out for myself, and I'm really enjoying the basks and I'm basking in the fruits of my labor, you know what I mean? And to see like how empty that the younger generation was, it's like, oh man, this is now in this dating world is like, man, we got to wake you guys up. We got to get you guys to like start enjoying your own personality, because at some point, even though you're being robotic now or acting robotic for a myriad of reasons, reality is going to catch up with you, and you're going to feel your biological need to reproduce. You're never going to escape this. You're never going to escape the fact that you are a human being, and a human being needs love, companionship, dating. That's like, what are these kids? A bunch of introverts? Like a bunch of robots and shit? Like, fuck introverts, bro. Fuck all of you. You need to understand that whole mentality, whatever that is an entitled, propaganda-based, bitch-ass way of thinking. You need to be extroverted. If you are coming to dating, we're giving you sauce right now. If you are entering the dating field, you need to be extroverted. Fuck your introverted self. You need to be personable. You need to be out there. You need to be marketable. You need to be selling yourself. You need to be charming, not because you're pretending to be, but because you really are. You need to be fun, not because you're pretending to be, but because you really are. You need it. If you're a man, you need to be conveying your ideas to somebody that's going to see that as equitable. And then if you're a woman, you need to be not selling fake purity, but basking in your femininity. Your femininity alone is going to solve the problem. It had done that for a millennia. It'll do that for a millennia more. Embracing your femininity as a woman, there is nothing more beautiful on earth than a feminine woman. There is nothing more pure and sacred and beautiful and worth going to war for than femininity.
1000%. Yeah, femininity is a key factor with dealing with women, definitely. And now dating or social media, not even social media, but dating apps are not the problem. This all started with social media. So for example, when I was growing up, I played basketball and I would go on these trips. I'd go to a different state to play basketball against other people. Before, imagine if I never went on these trips. In your area, you might be the best player in your city, but when you go on these trips to other states, you're like, oh shit, like damn, players are nice as fuck. Like motherfuckers are going to the NBA. Like this shit is like, it's crazy. So it's the same thing with social media, and why it's made it harder to date is because before social media, your girl that lived in your city wasn't comparing you to a guy that lives in Miami, or comparing you to a guy that lives in Nevada, Las Vegas, or New York. So it was easier for men to get laid and for people to build relationships. Now in today's world, and this isn't anything new, people talk about this Myron Rollo. In today's world, that same girl that lives in your small city in Arkansas or Louisiana or Utah, she's on social media, she's on Instagram, she sees some dude in Miami or New York. So now you're the average Joe, the average guy. You don't have a chance with this girl because she's like, I'm looking at you, you're just some average guy, but I'm this guy from Miami just DM'd me, and he's way on a whole nother level than you, so now you have no chance. So it's not really that dating doesn't work, it's that, or social media apps don't work or dating apps don't work. It's more so that women have so much of an abundance options to where now as a guy, an average guy just doesn't cut it anymore. Now you have to be at the top of the bro, you have to be on your shit, which isn't a bad thing, but most people don't want to put in the work. So now you have to put in the work, because that average guy in that small city, before he had a chance to date the hottest girl, he was the quarterback or he was the jock in his town, he had a good chance to date the hottest girl in his city. But in today, and that was 20 years ago, but in today's world, that's not enough anymore, because she's on these dating apps, she's on these social media platforms, and she's getting DMs from guys all over the world. So now it's made it harder for the average guy to get laid or have sex because his competition is harder. So it's not anything to cry about. We just have to get better as men so we can become the guy that they want to have sex with and be with. So that's the main thing. So it's that most guys are average dudes. So you're not getting swipes. You're not getting swiped right on these dating apps. She's not DMing you back. It's not because she just hates men, or you're just, she just doesn't like, men, or she has something against men. It's just that your competition is so hard and so scarce that you just didn't win the fight. So whether you're on a dating app or you go cold approach, it's almost the same statistic. If you're not getting a lot of swipes on the dating app, unless you're very charismatic in person, a lot of times you're not going to get anything. Your return on investment in real life is going to be low when you're cold approaching. So it's not that it's anything against you. It's that your competition is so much more harder and you have to work for it. It's like even 15, 20 years ago, you were cold approaching back in the day. I was cold approaching back in the day when I was young as fuck.
Hey,
back then, but I mean, we did
life.
We had no fucking other option. There wasn't really social media. Social media was just kicking off. Even back then, you notice when you cold approach a girl back then, your likelihood of her like texting you back or you going on a date was way higher back then. Why? Because she wasn't comparing you to social media. She didn't have Instagram. She wasn't getting all these followers before, and she had to go outside to get attention. So now when you approached her 15, 20 years ago, it meant more because she's not used to getting attention from guys. So she had to kind of earn it by going outside. Now girls wake up in their bed and they got 1,000 fucking likes and messages, and she's getting all that attention and not having to go outside. So in other words, your attention as a man means a lot less today than what it meant 15 years ago, because she's getting it so much more, and she really doesn't have to do anything for it, but just lay in her bed, wake up, have social media, and guys are giving her their attention, which means now in order for your attention to mean something as a man, you have to become a man worth her caring about your attention, about you giving her attention. Because if you're an average dude giving her attention, it doesn't mean anything. If you're a guy who's on his shit, who's making shit happen in life, and she sees that, then at that point, your attention means something. So all that's happened in today's world is that you just had to become a top tier man in order to have a decent existence with dealing with women. That's it.
Bro, your story opens up like 100 stories that I could connect together right now, right? Like, shout out to the cold approach days back in the days, bro. That's like the time frame when you would get a girl's number and then wait 2 days to text her type time frame type shit.
Exactly.
Like, we're from that era. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's that phase of dating, right? Now, what you were saying earlier for me, right? Like, social media for me, as a marketer, is a slang term for the internet, right? And the internet did change things. Often when I have these conversations with both guys and girls, usually it goes like this, like, yeah, just be who you really are, right? That BS that they sell you, just be who you really are. So like a guy will tell me like, yeah, man, don't I just need to be who I really am? A girl told me that. And then I'll say like, well, if the girl told you that, to just be who you really are, is she having sex with you? Is the girl that told you that having the sex with you that you want to be having? And then the guy always like crumbles. It breaks his argument every time. Because then he's like, yeah, she did tell me to be who I am, but she's not having sex with me and I'm not having the sex that I want. So that advice clearly isn't working because I need to have sex with somebody, right? So it's like, you see how that argument crumbles very quickly because they don't want to acknowledge the real reality of female nature, right? So they say, yeah, you should just be able to walk up to her, be yourself, and you guys will have a good time, and then romance will quell amongst one another, and then you're going to walk off into the sunset and fairy tale and have a great time. But female behavior doesn't select for that. Female behavior does go to the internet, social media. Female behavior does see the guys at the top of the hierarchy, music videos, princes, Warren Buffett's, guys with high followings. And female attention does tend to go there, to which I'll then say something along the lines of like, bro, there are literally women that line up at the Miami Stadium over there to sleep with basketball players because those guys are at the top of money and status and physical fitness all at once, and they're tall. So it's like a bunch of peak males at peak performance that are all like at status and rich AF, and the women line up there. Like we saw a video clip of a guy being asked by one of the interviewers that goes up on the streets, like, yo, if you could sleep with another girl and your girlfriend give you a pass to do it, would you do it? And he's like, nah, man, hell nah, this one right here, she's everything to me. She's everything that I ever dreamed of. And then the guy's like, okay, what about you? If you get a hall pass from him, would you sleep with anybody? And she's like, hell yeah. Antoine Davis,
Mark Jacob, this guy, that guy, the whole team, every football player, every basketball player, I'm lining up. They're all black, and I'm taking that dick. And then
homeboy, he experienced heartbreak in real time, in real life, on camera right there. He was so confused at like why he was. See, the confusion is that he wants to actually have sex with infinite amount of women, but he was suppressing that, and then he put all that suppression and bullshit and propaganda into this one girl, and this one girl like can't even imagine the self-sacrificing honor that this man is going through for her. She's like, have an abundance mindset. I don't even need him. He's a placeholder. I can just do what I want. Right? So then, you know who this reminds me of the most? Selena Powell. Now, I know you guys know I've met Selena Powell like a couple times now, right? Selena, you are a demon. Like, you're welcome on this show, girl, but I swear to God, I'm going to have to pray for you because you are a demon for what I've seen you do on the internet, right? So check this. Women like Selena will literally go on YouTube and make videos about how to sleep with the top tier men using Instagram, right? So she'll be like, look, girls. This is what you got to do.
she'll call it like Trick Academy or whatever, and she'll be like, look, girls, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go on Instagram right now, and we're going to message Trey Songz. So check this out. Make sure you have like a really good booty picture. Make sure your titties are out. And we're going to throw some DMs in Trey Songz. We're going to throw some DMs in Usher. And we're going to make sure that like he's going to hit you back. And trust me, he's going to hit you back. Like the last time I talked to him, I was left on scene. Like, and you know what that means. And so I just kind of like showed up at where he was at his party. And he like remembered that I was left on scene. So then like I ended up blah, blah, blah. Can't tell you.
Type shit, right? This is what women like Selena Powell do. And this further elaborates the transactional nature of dating in the current marketplace. And like women like her are out here just bastardizing it and promoting it, but they are currently, and this is the saddest part, they are currently reaping the rewards of this backwards, inverted, evil, loveless dating economy. And because you see them prospering at their, what I call the top of the bottom, they're prospering at this negative backwards game, it leaves a bad influence and a bad taste and a bad impression on what it is supposed to be. Because girls like Selena Powell are proud to get pumped and dumped and wear like a chain and hang out with academics and Tekashi and escape the cops at the bro, I can't even go into all the details, bro. But like, they're promoting this degeneracy in such a way that people think that is the way. And I see the people think that that is the way. And I see them entering that mindset in that field. So then that actually puts us in a lot of ways. But before I move on to the next point here, anything that you want to say that?
Yeah, that's spot on. That's what you like. Don't be listening to when the girl says, just back to what you were saying, when the girl says be yourself. She just wants for you to show that you're a loser so she doesn't have to deal with finding out and happen to decide in her brain if you're a loser or not, because you're putting up a facade. So by her saying be yourself is like her basically saying, I want to find out if you are
A loser? So, turn that shit off.
I want to find out if you're a loser. And I want to find out if you're a loser. And I want you to be yourself so I can find out if you're a loser. So when she says
disqualify yourself, bro.
Yeah, when she says be yourself, and Rolla Tomasi talks about this. When she says be yourself, it's her basically saying, be the real you so you can show me that you're a loser so I could just disqualify you. So that's the reason for that. So, and I've talked about this before. I know girls always say, logically it makes sense. Listen to girls. You want to have sex with girls, so it makes sense to listen to them. But dealing with women is the only thing that you have to think backwards, and it just doesn't make sense. But don't be yourself. Be attractive, and then after you get what you want, sure, be yourself after that. But the whole goal is to always be attractive and know how to deal with women. So yeah.
What's that guy's name? That one guy, I forgot his name, bro. He's like coach whatever, the old dude.
Greg Adams?
No, not Coach Greg Adams. The other old dude who was like he was like the leader of like the city groups for a while.
City groups.
That was like, I forgot his name, but that's because he messed up and we were told not to talk to him anymore. I forgot that guy's name right now, but I remember I was on a Zoom call with him and we were talking about like, yeah, I told him like, listen, you don't pretend to be dope. If the girl likes dope guys, just be dope. Just do it. Do what it takes to be like in the mix, you know. And then like to this guy's point, Moon over here. The biggest absence of community is causing a problem where people no longer are really feeling comfortable. That's the biggest problem. They don't feel comfortable meeting each other or approaching each other because we're in such an echo chamber based environment where in this echo chamber based environment, people are so attached to their devices and scrolling TikTok again and scrolling Instagram again and sticking to their algorithm that when they talk to another person, it's almost like they're waiting to go back to their algorithm so they could confirm all their biases in their head to then go talk to the person. So they're giving more attention to the computer and less attention to the person. But when you do that enough times, it's going to hollow this person out to the point where they're left with nothing. And then at some point, the human being that you are is going to want connection. So like when you keep pushing off connection, now you're out here in the real world and you feel no sense of community. So you can't sit down, you can't go to the coffee place, you can't, I mean, at best you're going to like nightclubs and the nightclub market is dying and people are less and less likely to be in your life at a nightclub than ever before. It's unfortunate that is the behavior, which is now like, for example, bro, this leads to so much like, the youth is wasted on the young in a sense, right? The people in their 20s don't realize that they need to be pairing off. If you're a girl between the ages of 18 and 24, what you should be doing is focusing on marriage. You should not be focusing on college. You know what? In a perfect world, if you are a girl and somebody throws the idea of college, education, books, classes, degrees, any of that at you, you should take that up, ball it up in a big ball of trash and throw that shit out and say, my man's going to handle that. I'm focused on kids and marriage. I can get educated at any point in time. It doesn't matter if I'm 28. Doesn't matter if I'm 38. Doesn't matter if I'm 48. Doesn't matter if I'm 58. I can do that anytime, but I cannot have kids at any time. So I need to focus on the man first. That's what you need to do. Bro, I literally know girls right here, right now that are in their 30s that don't know that they hit the wall because they're still getting likes on Instagram. Because they're still putting out pictures on Instagram. And because men don't like women's pictures, I keep telling you guys, never like women's photos. Starve them of attention until they die. There's women right now that don't know they hit the wall. And because they're receiving likes on Instagram, which is their only way of like interpreting the real world, they still think that they have value to the average man. And they don't know, dudes like me, dudes like Tez, dudes that are ready to date, we will look at a girl in her 30s and just like walk right past her and be like, nah. Like she doesn't know where she is. So because she doesn't know where she is, she has no idea how to navigate dating. She doesn't know how to bring value. She doesn't know where to be valuable. She doesn't know how to get the interest of a man. And she's going to go on this sad cycle that's going to lead to Selena Powell. No, she's going to go on this sad, like empty road that's going to lead to absolute worthlessness. So what's going to happen? She's going to get pumped and dumped by some guys. She's going to feel cool that she got a couple guys in the friend zone, got a couple guys as placeholders. And because she thinks that that's dope and she's probably doing well at her job because our economy favors women and make sure that women are rich for absolutely dumb jobs that don't mean anything to the world at all, that mean nothing because a woman's work never means anything unless she's, had kids and stuff. She's going to replace the man with money. So what happens is that she will die, and when she dies, she will have accomplished nothing and she'll have nothing to bring to her tombstone with her but a bunch of Benjamins, and that is sad way to convey worthlessness. And before I talk about the data part, bruv, what do you think about that wall?
Yeah, I'll say this for the guys is that now, like I said before, it's harder as a man to date because women have an abundance of options and your competition is harder. So now as an average guy, it's really not even worth having a girlfriend. If you're an average guy, you're not on your shit all the way, you're still figuring life out. A lot of times your girl is going to hold you back because the attention that she's going to require, you need to be putting that attention to somewhere else that's going to build your business, build your career, and get you to progress in life. So a lot of guys that have girlfriends in their early 20s or guys that just aren't on their shit, a lot of times that's putting you further and further behind because you have to keep up with taking your girl on dates. She's maintenance. She needs to have these crazy experiences. And when you're spending more and more money, you're spending time and resources, and you're barely getting by yourself, but you just want a girlfriend, it just doesn't make any sense. So become the best version of yourself first. Focus on yourself. That way, not only when you go back to the dating marketplace, you can get more attractive women and you can get treated by women with the respect that you deserve to be treated with because you've put in the work. Because a lot of guys, they're just getting by. They're average guys, and they don't really have life figured out yet, and therefore they're not dating the woman that they want, and they're not getting the respect from the woman that they want simply because they haven't put in the work on the front end. So at some point as a man, you're gonna have to be alone, take that ride alone, and just put in that work. So don't be a guy out here, a young guy, just because you want to have sex. Don't think that you need a girlfriend all this time, because a lot of times girls they're naturally extractors, so they're looking
resource
at
extractors.
Resource extractors. So they're looking at men like, what can I get out of him? What can he do for me? So, and if you're a guy who's barely getting by yourself, and you have a woman coming in looking at you that way, and you just want a girlfriend, if she's extracting from you and you're already not even in a position to where you're almost behind yourself, that's only putting you further and further behind. And that's not to complain because they're naturally that way. But as a man, in today's world, you're going to get the best out of women by becoming the best version of yourself, putting in that hard work. That way you don't have to deal with your girl being rude to you, bitchy, not respecting you, because she's looking at you like you're not the best version of yourself. So why would I treat him that way if he's not even demanding a certain level of respect out of himself? Because a lot of time life is a window, it's not a mirror, or it's a mirror, not a window. The quote goes something like that. In other words, people are giving you what you're giving them in return, what they see. So if you're a guy who's put in the work and people see that, a lot of times you're going to get respect just based off that. If you're walking around, you haven't put in any work, and in your head you're thinking that you want to be this respected guy, you want to get this outcome from the world, they're looking at you like you don't deserve that because you didn't put in the work. So as a man in today's world, put in the work so you can get the respect that you want, and don't be average.
Yeah, bro. Like, this is like, okay, so this is why you do not travel with women, right? This is like a major tenement. You don't travel with women when your travels. This is important because women slow you down. Women are a slow creature, a resource extracting creature. This reminds me of like a couple things, right? I remember a long time ago, it was like an episode where Andrew Tate and Tristan had also came to that same like conclusion. Like, you can't go and you can't travel with chicks when like you're on your grind, because they're gonna need to pack their bags and they're gonna need to make sure that they have all their makeup, and they're gonna want to do their hair, and they're gonna want to come in, they're gonna get really comfortable. Dudes don't fucking move like that. It's this, that, done, move fast, done, right? So like, you need that speed. Now, to what you were saying, if you're a younger guy, you're in your earlier 20s and you're taking on a girlfriend, there's a lot of things to vet for. See, a lot of these coaches don't have experience with women. I'm about to give you the real experience right here, right now. A girl that is a resource extractor that is your girlfriend is going to be like constantly putting hits or constantly putting holes in your ship, right? You can't have a paycheck of $2,000 or $3,000 and then she's costing you $1,000. You know what I mean? In the same month, you cannot take those hits. You need to take that same $1,000 and put it in Bitcoin. You need to put it in investments. You need to be looking at property, assets, Turo, DoorDash. You got to be looking at like some way buy gold. You got to be building up your foundation. Though a woman, a female, the XX chromosome is the one thing that you could invest all your time and all your energy and all your love into for no benefit, for no return, for diminishing returns. Remember, you can literally one day get a girl like a gift or something, and it's the most special moment, and she only felt the feeling for that moment, and the next week she don't care about that. So it doesn't matter to her. So like the hero that you were last week doesn't matter this week, right? And because this is the nature of females, you need to be able to vet, and this makes it even harder. You need to be able to vet for women that are going to speed you up. So let's look at, like, for example, Donovan Sharp. Shout out to you, man. I forgot the name of the woman that he actually finally married, but that girl, right, specifically, Devin. Yeah, he sticks with Devin. You know why he sticks with Devin? Devin does what she can to speed him up. Devin does what she can to make sure that if he's doing YouTube, she's running the e-com business. Devin goes out of her way to make her spot fucking placeable. That is the kind of woman that you women need to be. You need to make sure that, like, if the man goes fast, you make him faster. If the man needs to be strong, you make him stronger. If the man needs to be loud, you make him louder. If he needs to be mighty, you make him mightier. Whatever this man's path is, you must add to that. So again, if you're a younger guy in your 20s and this girl's costing you money when she needs to be making you money, that's the difference. That's someone that you vet to keep versus vetting to dismiss. Now, that being said, Moon brings up another very interesting point about these dating apps, right? Hinge, Bumble, Tinder, I don't even know the apps because I don't use them. But what the companies are doing is that they're collecting your data and they're selling your data. So what I guarantee you, if you're into hot, tall, long, lengthy, blue-eyed blonde girls, and your dating profile basically conveys that, and that's basically what you swipe on. They're selling that data to pornography companies, and that type of pornography is coming all up your feed. So now you're in a loop where they're making money off your existence. And it's like, when you start digging into this stuff and you get deeper into rabbit holes, it almost seems to show that they don't even need that as a source of income. They just do it to deplete you as a human being into absolute worthlessness and nothingness, exactly like a battery cell of a human in the Matrix movie. Shout out to the Red Pill. That movie came out in 1999, and it could not be more truer today on how corporatocracies or corporations work in general. So these algorithms, in the long and short of it is that these algorithms are being used against you. They do not help you. They are the beast system. The system is something that you got to maneuver like how I choose to maneuver. Yes, there are benefits to the system, right? Like, for example, you need credit in order to move through the system. What is credit? Credit is basically like the slave tokens, right? So here's some slave tokens. And if you go and you use the slave tokens and you show us that you're a good slave, and you could pay on time, and you could be reoccurring with the payments, and you could be on the hamster wheel, and you could show us that you're good at keeping track with that, we're going to give you more of this credit, and you could leverage more of it, right? What that shows is that you're going to be able to use the system for the benefits, but you got to be able to also apply this to every level of the system. You got to be able to apply this to the dating portion, the work portion, the professional portion, your social media portion. You got to know how to bend the system to your will. You have to figure that out. And the real true place where you get to figure that out is right here on 5-Star. Make sure that you join the community with me and Tez. We got so much things going on. Now, another point that I wanted to bring up that Moon was bringing up in the section that we watched there is that, you know, he's kind of leaning into this area where you're going to see later on in the show where we talk about this, but like, in the feminism, which is a propaganda, it's basically a religion. Feminism is basically a religion, right? Where you worship the woman, and the woman is the man, and you worship the woman being the man, and she's the superhero. So she should be the action hero. She should be Arnold Schwarzenegger in Terminator. She should be the action hero. She should be number one at everything, and the guy should be the damsel in distress, right? Absolute ass backwards BS. To the point where now the modern day thing in being truthful to this religion is that an average girl, the average woman, believes in her mind it's actually not cool. It's actually against the cool thing. It's against the zeitgeist. It's against the propaganda. It's against the brainwashing. It's against all the people in front of her if she actually has a man. Like, she's not cool no more. It's not cool no more if she has a man. So it's actually kind of like she's taking a hit to have a man. So she's actually kind of like, she's not accepting our cool new reality where we don't even need men. Men have no purpose. And because men have no purpose, if you have a man, you're kind of you're betraying your sisters if you do that, right? So not only is that apparent, but that is what, like, back to Moon's point over there, leading to the low trust between people, right? Before we talk about biology, how can any man who's not the impest of imps trust a girl who thinks like that, right? Like, you can be my man if you're in the corner and you're quiet and I never take a picture with you and you're never in any of my videos, or you're never at the end of any videos, or you're never at, like, you're never in any pictures. You're not seen. Like, you can be my man as long as my social media doesn't convey it and my friends don't know about it and it's just a secret. And you know what? Let me go ahead and start painting this reality. I just don't want to put it out there
because if I put it out there, then, you know, that might be like horrible for our relationship. But the very same girl would go
ham to flaunt the fact that she's dating Trey Songz. The very same girl will go ham to show the fact that she's dating Prince Harry. You know what I mean? So it's very, very much about status and that transactional nature of this low trust dating environment.
Hell yeah, for sure. And in today's world, this is probably one things that is bad when it comes to capitalism is because, and the byproduct of this is bad, is because in a capitalistic society, everything is made to make our lives easier. Whether it's the house we live in, the food we eat, the table we have, everything is the only way to have a capitalistic society is by building things that make people's lives easier, because people are naturally lazy. So if you want to get rich, you're going to have to make something that helps people solve a problem and make their lives easier. Now, since we live in that society, what makes your life easy isn't always what's best for you. What's easy isn't, like I said before, what's easy isn't always worth it in the long run. So now in today's world, practicing self-restraint and not taking the easy way out is more important than ever. Like I said before, because everything is at your fingertips. Societies who aren't as progressive as we are, they don't have to deal with all the distractions that we have today and on other things going on, because they don't live in the same capitalistic society that we live in. So be aware, all these things, whether it's social media, dating apps, things that just make your life easier, Uber, all this stuff, it's all easy, but a lot of times some of it's not worth it at the end, because what's easy is just going to make your life harder. So if you're sitting there beating your meat every night, you're talking to webcam girls, all this stuff you have access to it right away, and it's so easy, simple, just click a couple buttons on your phone and boom, it's right there. But the long run is when you get around the girl, you have anxiety, you don't know what to say to her, you don't know how to talk, you feel guilty because you've been watching porn all day and you just don't know how to communicate because it's messing with the neurons in your brain and all the shit in your brain. And now you don't even know how to associate with people because you've been doing all this stuff behind closed doors. So remember, have some awareness about yourself. And anytime you catch yourself doing something that's super duper easy, just sit back and think, okay, let me just reflect on this. Let me hold off on this. And then that way you can get around doing that. And I'm not perfect. I do shit that's easy too, but it's best to have some kind of awareness by it, because it's easy to just go through life every day and not even think twice about these things. You're just living every day doing this, and you don't even know what you're doing is wrong. You don't even know what you're doing is hurting you, and it's stopping you from getting ahead. So have some self-restraint and practice that, because that way you don't fall into this trap. Because there are people today living in this world, living in the United States, who are in this trap of waking up every morning, scrolling on their phone before they go to sleep, scrolling on their phone, nonstop, endless scrolling, downloading all these apps and just keeping their mind distracted. They just need to keep thumbing through, scrolling stuff. They don't even really care. They're not even thinking about it. But at the same time, that's like a death by 1,000 paper cuts.
Yeah.
It's slowly just eating at their brain, killing them. They're losing distraction. Next thing you know, 6 months have gone by, years gone by. They're throwing off their goal. And then it's just eating you up because you're not aware of it. You're getting that quick dopamine rush. And next thing you know, it's just hurting your life. So practice some self-restraint, because it means more now than ever, because we have so many distractions out there. And do that. That way you can get ahead in life.
You're going to have to. So now let's kick it to the next part of the program, biological warfare. Make sure you follow us on everything. Subscribe to us on 5 Star. Live stream on YouTube, Rumble, Facebook, Twitter. We are everywhere, bruv. You guys got to get down with 5-star live stream. Make sure that you are with us on every single platform. We don't quit. Mm-hmm. All right, pause it here. Bruh. Bruh. This biological warfare gets my blood boiling. If you are in the comments, if you're watching this in a clip, in a live stream, wherever you're watching this, you need to be upset about the biological warfare that's being implemented on us. I have another show where I'm talking to you guys. It's called the Dream Team Live Stream. You got to get in there. You got to see what I'm talking about. Right here, right now, I need you guys to understand that you, more than ever, you need to have sex with a vengeance. You need to be busting nuts like crazy. You need to be making a kid every single day, every hour of the minute. Because what they're doing in our country is they're wiping us out. I'm just going to say it, man. I don't know if you guys could see it, but they're closing America down. It's like so clear that this is what they're trying to do. They're wiping out the population. They're wiping out our resources. They're wiping out our means. Our president isn't helping us for nothing. Every man for himself. We the people. We are on our own. Microplastics, bro, that is completely not like some random thing that randomly happens because you were drinking plastic out of a water bottle. This is a biological attack on your reproductive organs. And this guy, I saw that study that he was talking about briefly. I didn't get a chance to research it, but just at the surface level, there's enough data for you to tell there this is implemented on human beings to make sure human beings do not procreate at their full productivity, not to mention the societal breakdown of a basic structure that could be solved with our government. You flip and switch a couple buttons, we could be in prosperity just like they did in 2020. But they don't do that. Now, the basic benchmark for success to men, still to this day, on both political parties, the average man thinks that success is having house, kids, family, car. Done. Men are so simple. But they're making sure that you can't have those basic prerequisites. The average person, like I've said before, the average Gen Zer is getting no reward for their education, getting no reward for their school, getting no reward for all the work that they've done, and they will never see the light of day. They'll never get a job. They'll never experience what it's like to have a 6-figure, 7-figure job. Or 5-6-figure job. They'll never experience like the basics of just running into someone, having a good conversation. They'll never run into pair bonding or love or passing notes or the beautiful things that come from sharing time with somebody, because they're making sure that the structure for family is not there, and they're making sure that the structure for stability is not there. But the problem with that is that before the lack of these structures, men and women are not able to move forward in life. So basically what they're doing is keeping you starved of sex, then putting you on a sex loop, then like oversaturating you with pornography, then keeping you on the internet all day, then keeping you on jobs that are going to milk all of the money or milk all of the energy out of you while dripping little bits of money on into your bank account. And the only ones who are really going to prosper in the corporate world right now, or where the most money is women, not men. Women should not be in the workforce. Women should all leave the workforce. Only men should be working. All the women should be at home. And God, man, the only way to fix this is to fight back. The only way to fight back is to bust a million nuts. Bust nuts, keep fucking. But also, you're going to have to solve this problem. Like I said, you cannot use the system. You have to be able to walk both simultaneously in and out of it. You have to be able to govern. We are the people. In fact, I'm going to watch this video with you, right? I just saw a video of people who are living off grid. Living off grid in sheds, in hotels is like on grid, but like they're living alternatively. Like they're living in their cars, they're living in sheds, and they're living off grid, which means outside the system, to earn money just to get in the system. Like that's where us as Americans have been reduced to on purpose, from the higher ups to the lower down in this corporatocracy system, where people in the corporate hierarchy are above the law and laws are for the broke people. It's just evil, bruv.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy. And they say be careful what you wish for. With America, the same thing that makes America great, the capitalism, the capitalistic society, is the same reason why we are where we are now. Everyone's told to prioritize their career, whether you're a man, you're a woman. And like they're talking about in the video, people are putting having children and a family last, and they're putting their career first. Because with us living in this capitalistic world or country that we live in, we have to make money in order to survive and take care of our family. So the same thing that makes this country great, being able to be whoever you want to be, everyone has the opportunity to be rich, the land of opportunity. That same reason on how you're able to get rich, why you prioritize money, is the same reason why we're dealing with all the problems that we have. So you have to choose your poison with this, find out what you want in life. And that's the great thing about living. You have choices and options. So you have to figure out what it is that you want. If you're a person that prioritizes family and children, you could still have that here, but it's going to be a lot harder. Your girl's going to bitch at you a lot more. If you're not on your shit, she's not going to respect you. So go to a country to where they don't really prioritize money like that. Go to a third world country, or a country that's, the Dominican Republic. Go to Cuba, somewhere to where it's more of like a family vibe or a family feel. They prioritize that rather than getting rich. Because if you're that person, if you're waking up every day mad that all people talk about is money, all people talk about is career, and all you care about is family, and you're trying to build a family, a lot of times you may have to just go to a different place, because you have to pick your battles. And with this life that we live, we're of course only here for a certain amount of time. So if you're a person who values the materialistic things in the world, and you value the status, you want to be at the top of the hierarchy, and you want to get that fulfillment inside, this is the place for you. But what comes with it is that you're going to have to wait to have a family. It's going to take longer. And so one part's going to have to suffer. You can't have your cake and eat it too. So you have to choose your battle wisely and figure out what it is that you want as soon as you possibly can. Because you don't want to wait until time goes on and it gets too late, and then you figure out, oh shit, I wanted this. I'm a 35, 40-year-old woman, and I don't have kids. I don't have a family. I prioritized my career my whole life, but no, I actually want this. And then it's like living with regret is like terrible. That's one thing that keeps me doing with what I have to do every day, is I don't want to wake up at 70, 80 years old and be like, damn, I should have did this. Because that's going to want to make me smoke myself. So find out as soon as you possibly can what you want, and then maneuver through life that way. Because if you're a person listening to this in America and you're mad about how America is, the simple answer is go move somewhere. And I know you're emotionally attached to this place, but if it means that much to you, then you're just going to have to suck it up and figure it out here. And if you're like, I don't give a fuck, I need to do what's best for me, then go somewhere and figure it out there to where you can value family and things like that. Because America is definitely a capitalistic country, but at the same time, all those benefits are the same reason why we have all these problems. So find out what you want. We can't have it all, and that's it.
Yeah, the truth is the truth, and the truth is our mating strategy, our family values, our love and relationships, our need to procreate, the birthright of being fruitful and multiplying is at war with our government. So what does that look like? It's the unfortunate dark side of a capitalistic society. You can use capitalism for good, and you can use capitalism for bad, to your point. And what that looks like is like our government will say, let's do everything we can to go outside of the Constitution of America and put all of the things that are going to be loopholes to the Constitution of America, and find ways to use corporations in the private sector of capitalism to destroy humanity from BlackRock down, while we, the people, are doing the exact opposite, and we are upholding the values of the Constitution and what is morally upright and righteous under the eyes of God, in the eyes of the Bible, through the Constitution. And we, the people, are fighting to uphold these values like crazy. And that Second Amendment is keeping things good and keeping up that fight for us here in America. Without that, we would have been taken over a long time ago. And it's this constant cycle of them destroying the Constitution while we uphold the Constitution, and family values and love and dating and structure is all caught up in this cyclical pattern. And I and Tez, we created this show because we believe in you guys. We believe in the people. We believe in the people's fight. We believe in the people's journey. We believe in your ability to uphold all that is righteous and all that is good. And in that mindset, we want you to date with a vengeance. I want you, if you're a 5-star guy, to make a new kid every hour. Play the video. Make sure you follow us on 5-Star live stream at YouTube. Make sure you subscribe, like, share the video with at least 5 friends. Come on, if you're a 5-star man, you gotta have at least 5 friends. All right, pause it there. All right, before we go into looks magazine. Woo, that's a whole other section, bruh. What you think about this?
Yeah, you have to find out what you want. Like I was saying before, like country places in Africa, like I was thinking that as well. Places in Africa, poor as fuck. They value family. They have kids. Why is that? Because they don't have the materialistic, capitalistic shit hanging over their head about building a business and making this money. They're not thinking about that. They're like, I just want to have a family. That's it. That's what I used to work at an airport, and I worked with a bunch of Africans. I'm African as well, but I work with people who like came directly, like they've been here for like a year or two. People from Africa, and they're like, man, like back home, there's just no stress. Like it's just, it's like we just family. We hang out, talk, and that's really all it is to it. And I believe people are starting to realize the American dream is a lie. At one point, it was real. 30, 40 years ago, however long ago, it was real, possibility. And it still is possible. It's just not probable. It's very low. But I believe people are starting to wake up and realize that this opportunity, just like in a lot of places, it's a very small chance that you can come here and make it. Yes, you can, but it goes back to finding out what you value and what you want. That's it.
Do not listen to women. Do not listen to blue pill people. Do not listen to the top Erica Kirks and the Candace Owens and the Turning Point USA peoples. Don't listen to any of them. Listen to the advice that we are giving you here on 5-Star. Tez literally just said, if you view the American dream as a problem, leave America and go to where you are going to have your values met with a country that upholds those values. And by just listening to the logic and the truth and the structure imprinted on a male who knows where he's going with life. The advice just protected him and led to an actual example here in Moon's video where the advice holds up. You know, like if people are like if families upheld in certain countries in Africa go there, they're having no problems reproducing, right? Just like that, the advice works. You really got to look yourself in the mirror and say, yo, what am I doing? What do I want? Where am I going? How am I going to lay this out? What is my vision? What am I going to bring to the table? How am I going to lay this all out? How am I going to bring this down? You know? And that was really good. That aged very well.
Yeah, no, real shit. And you have to be detached with this. I've worked at jobs with people and they have some kind of loyalty to a job. Like, it's like some kind of loyalty. It's like, this job doesn't give a fuck about you as long as they only care about you as much as long as they're benefiting from you. So people, they want to stay at a job or, be at a place for a certain amount of time because they have some kind of loyalty attached to it. And it's the same way with the country, which I get it. People are like, no, it's just not emotionally. And it's even people moving to a different state because they don't want to leave their family. People would rather stay in the same state and rather not disappoint their family or have their family be mad, or they don't want to be away from their family, but yet them staying in their same state that they live in is holding them back from them growing and becoming the person that they want to be. So you have to have some kind of sort of attachment about yourself in order to make it in this world and operate. Because if you're a person who wants something that the United States is not giving you, and you're afraid to leave because you're so detached to it, at what cost? That could be to your own detriment and to where you're not going to get what you want out of life. So if you're going to be very emotional about it and attached, then you just have to ask yourself, is the outcome that you really want, does it mean that much to you? Is it worth it? Because if it doesn't, then that's fine. Stay where you are. Don't get what you want, because the outcome that you want, you really don't want it that bad. But if you want it that bad, then be detached emotionally and make moves, be cutthroat about your life to get to where you want to get to and get what you want.
Amen, brother. Because, look, man, you are talking to the biggest American patriot in the world, bro. I love this country. If you cut me open, I bleed red, white, and blue. I love America. Love this country. Patriot to the core. However, there's a couple problems that we're currently experiencing, and these are real problems that we're all really going through, and you really got to ask yourself, what am I doing? What's the outcome? If your patriotism is to a government that's killing you, you got to think to yourself, well, since they're out here to get me and they want to kill me, and all this propaganda and all this biological warfare is coming at me every day, and the system doesn't favor me, and all the women hate me, and these dating apps are a trick. Maybe what I got to do is, build patriotism with my own family. Maybe be more patriotic to the fact that I got to build what I have to build. I gave this example to one of the guys in our group. Shout out to Chief Rocka, boy. I see you out here. And I had a conversation with Chief Rocka, and I said, bro, right here, right now, today, if you had the choice between $5 million right here, right now, today, in your life, the way that your life is moving, how you're working, how you're grinding. And Chief is younger than me. And Chief has a kid that's like a younger kid, right? And I gave him this example. I said, you want $5 million right now, or 5 18-year-old sons that are willing to work with you on anything that you got to do? What do you take? He said, the sons, bro. Imagine that. Imagine if I had the difference between $5 million, which I would, hypothetically be using to build out a corporation to hire people and put assigned roles and initiatives in order to sit down and have meetings with people, or 5 sons where I could just imagine 5 of my sons, 18 years old, working on 5-star. Bruh, it's okay, you do the clipping, you do the thumbnails, you do the podcasting, you do the networking, you do the recruiting. Done every single day. What would you rather have? Would you rather have power within your own family, or would you rather put $5 million worth of money into making sure that you write off certain amounts of money and putting it on your income statements, and making sure that you're paying taxes to the government and keeping track with all the money and looking really cool and really professional in your portfolio, only to find out that when you have money and you're doing all these things, it's cool and girls like it and it's respectable, but their pussy doesn't get any wetter. You know what I mean? What's better for you? Having the prosperity of children or not? Which brings me back to what he was saying, if you don't want to blame the upper class or the way that he was kind of breaking that down, you look at what works for the people in society, right? And the 1%ers do it the best. The 1%ers, they have a bunch of kids. And even back in the day, that was also a pretty normal thing. Like, people would have like 8, 9, 10 kids, just like pump them all out young, get all those kids going, and then they're able to move forward with their life. And that is the very thing that our government fears the most, is you procreating and you teaching your ideas of sovereignty and freedom and patriotism to the next generation. Because your ideas gives you power, and that power gives influence, and that influence can be a good thing for the world. But our evil corporatocracy government doesn't want good things. They want evil things, and they show you that they want evil things. But if you were able to put good patriots into the world and good patriots into our society, and you were able to teach them how to make school fun and how to be a good neighbor and how to be good for other people in the community and how to create value and how to utilize all the resources and algorithms and technology and cameras and microphones that we have today to make the world a better place, how to use social media, the internet, to do good things and to speak to each other more quickly and not like be crushing on somebody and comment on their thing and wait 2 days later to show that you don't care or you're disinterested, and that's supposed to build attraction for you to go back and forth on a standoff. You would literally be making the world a better place, and that scares our government to all hell, which is why they're exterminating you. We are experiencing an extinction level event across the earth. Tolerance is extinction. Right before we get into looks maxing, what do you say, bruv?
Yes, there's a saying or quote that says, money is the root to all evil. And in America, we prioritize money. That's like everything. And that's why we have all the evil shit that we have now. If you look at the feminism, separating men from women, like it all starts with just money. So the economy can thrive, and the economy is built off people working, the middle class, the rich, people working, so it can make the economy better. So if money is the root of all evil and we prioritize money, then it's only going to get more and more evil. So that quote or saying, it stands the test of time, because that's just what we're living in. And then there's an invisible hierarchy. So this is why having kids, I believe having kids and you're not all the way on your shit is bad. Like having these kids, and if you're young, and yes, I get it, you want to have 5 kids, you want to have these kids, but if you're not on your shit and you have kids, it's almost like having a girl when you're not on your shit. Your girl's not going to respect you, and your kids aren't going to look up to you as a hero if you're having these kids and you're not all the way on your shit. So if you have kids, you want your kids to look up to you. You want them to value your word. You want it to actually mean something when you speak. They listen. And the only way I believe for that to actually happen is if you put in the work and you're the man that you've created yourself to be. So if you have those kids young and you're not on your shit in America, there's still that invisible hierarchy here, and they're going to look at you. They're going to start to get older and look at you. And when you're talking, they're either going to listen because you've proved yourself in the world, or they're going to turn the other way and not listen or go against your word because you haven't put in the work. So now vice versa, if you're in a country like Africa and you have kids, or you're in a country that doesn't value money, you could have kids there, and there's not that same hierarchy because that's not what's valued in that country. So the whole point of that is figure out what you want and operate in this way, navigate through the world to get what you want out of it.
Yeah, bro. Literally, look, the pendulum always swings, man. It's always on one side. It always goes to the next side. And maybe what's happening here is that all this corporate evil is pushing us out of this government system. Maybe it's pushing us out of cities. The most common thing that people are starting to favor is being off grid or having their own land, because people are starting to see, well, God made the earth abundant, and if I have my own land, I can live off the land, and I can plant seeds, and I can sell the fruit and the vegetables, and that's always going to generate an income, and I can have animals, and that will always generate an income, and I will always be in abundance, and I'll always have food in my house and a place to be. So maybe in some great irony for all the evil that they're committing, it's just going to repurpose us out into land, and we're going to want to live more of a farm life than a suburban life or a city life. You never know. You need to be strategic about these things. But that being said, no curses and no evil. It is December 31st. It is literally, you guys are watching New Year's Eve unfold with us in real time, in real life, bruv. So before we go on to the next part of this video, Happy New Year's, motherfucker. 5-star has been here, and we've delivered a lot to you guys.
It's here. We got the New Year coming in tomorrow, and we at it. We here.
Hell yeah.
The show goes on. It don't stop. Let's get it.
All right, looks maxing. We got to talk about this, bro. Right before she plays the video here, homeboy is out here crushing the skull with a hammer to look more aesthetically attractive to women. Play the video. The moon video. It's not done yet. Make sure you subscribe to us too, man. We did a lot to make sure that you guys had a fantastic year with us. We started halfway through the year, but man, that second half right there was one hell of an introduction to the YouTube life. Subscribe. Bruh, hit us with the sauce, bruv.
Yeah, bro. This all comes back to we are competing, and the competition is hard. It is real out here. Because when you see someone beating his face with a hammer to look better, if I say there's a guy beating his face with a hammer to look better, isn't that fucking crazy? The first thing that comes to your mind is, duh. This guy's a fucking crazy. He's insane. But if I told you that if this guy didn't beat his face with a hammer, he wouldn't be able to procreate. He wouldn't have any kids because no girl would want to have sex with him. So this guy is beating his face with a hammer because he wants to be able to procreate and have kids. So then if I ask you, this guy is beating his face because if he doesn't, he's not going to be able to mate and procreate. So he's beating his face so he could have kids and have a family. Then it's like, wait, that actually is like, it's not that bad. Like, it starts to make a little bit more sense. And then you look like, bro, Tez, you're taking it to the extreme. It's not that. But I mean, we're all competing to have kids and mate. I know there's some crazy statistic that I don't know, but it's like 1 in 4 men or something hasn't procreated since the beginning of the time. And I don't want to just throw random numbers out here, but there's a crazy statistic to where it's like women have overwhelmingly procreated more than men. So if these guys are going to this crazy extent to look better, monk mode, I've been in monk mode before, it's all because the competition is hard and we're all competing and the shit is extreme. So sometimes you have to take extreme measures to get what you want. People cheat in sports just to get a trophy at the end, or it's not always just to get a trophy so their name could be put on somewhere. So if you're going to cheat in a sport or at a job to get an outcome to make some money or be known as the best in a certain field, of course you're going to cheat or go to the extreme so you can procreate and have kids in a family.
Bruv. We are uncovering a lot here, man. Okay, so I'm going to try to make sense of this for you guys. I'm going to make sense of this for you guys. And I'm going to give you some solutions here, man. These are a lot of extremes coming at you guys all at once in the intermingled dance between men and women. If men and women were just bumping into each other, just making love, just procreating, just building a future with one another, we wouldn't have all these extremities, but we do. On the Bonnie Blue side, we have a girl that's out here promoting to young women that are innocent in their purity that if you want to live the life that is inherent to the end game and the end result of feminism, you need to be like Bonnie Blue and just have sex with thousands of men, and this will not devalue you, and you will be happy, and you won't be miserable, and you won't end it all towards some part of your life. Bonnie Blue is a walking ticking time bomb for like self-deletion, bro. That her soul is entrenched in just the evils of hedonism, and that will break a human spirit at some point in time. Women, please do not go down that road. But unfortunately, we do have people out here promoting this degeneracy. Bonnie Blue, personally, I think you're a plant. I don't think that you are anything other than a pawn in the game of propaganda. I don't believe that you are a real person really making these real choices. But if you are, God, you are beyond lost. You're so lost that there is no hope for a person like you. But we do not want you to be the end result of anyone that's in this kind of community, right? Like, we want you guys dating. Me and Tez are putting together a community for you guys, and we really wouldn't vet you, Bonnie, as someone that's dateable. You have ejected yourself out of the market. You don't belong here based on your actions. Now, what you're doing and what she's doing and what she promotes and what the extremity of her lifestyle, infinite sex for a woman, is the most extreme debauchery to isolate yourself and to make yourself a whore and to kick yourself out of the game, that we do not want you to do that. And on the other side of this extremity, now we have looks maxing. So look, I'm not talking about that guy specifically because I don't know him. I haven't met him. And I do meet a lot of influencers in real life. I do meet a lot of people. And sometimes how they're conveyed on the internet and who they are in real life are two different things. So I'm not attacking this dude at all. But I'm just based on everything that I've done as far as ever since looks maxing stepped into the mainstream. I got to let you guys know here first. Looks maxing is stupid. Looks maxing is dumb. Looks maxing is irrelevant. Do not do it. I don't recommend it. I do not support it. If you need to looks max to attract a girl, screw that girl. If you need to looks max to have any success in the sexual dating market, you are an imbecile. You do not need to do that. Let's rewind it all the way back to Biggie Smalls, man. Even though he probably was a gay rapper who was singing songs about sucking the tip of the daddy's dick because the girl's beautiful, we don't support that Diddy shit over here. He still was perceivedly someone with a lot of status, someone with a lot of money, but he was out of shape. He was ugly. But men in general can make up for their lack of looks in a lot of other ways. Women are born with beauty. Women literally can take pictures of their feet, just like a random irrelevant part of the body, in the anatomy of what can be presented to you, right? But God put beauty in the female from head to toe. A woman is beautiful all the way through to the point where she can take pictures of her feet and make money off of it. But you are a man. You do not get to do that because you are not beautiful. You are objectively a force of nature, and what you're supposed to do with that force is you are supposed to be moving. You're supposed to be solar. You're supposed to be making things happen, and what you do is always going to be enough to make you attractive to somebody in pairing off if you're going to take this thing seriously, right? So you can make up for that with if you're like 5'8" and out of shape, I recommend you get yourself in the gym. That's something me and Tez talk about a lot here. But you could still have kids. You still can be attractive to a woman. You still can have sex with her if you are making up for these deficits in other ways. Like if you're higher on the totem pole of status, I'm sure Seth Rogen, who probably matches my description, the guy, Seth Rogen, the guy who always plays like a happy pothead, the actor, I'm sure he's not having any trouble getting women, right? Because why? Because he's known from movies. So he's got a lot of money from movie deals, and he belongs to a certain group of people, and he is funny, and like that comedy is like, being funny, being, like we say, funny, charming, having status. These things will help make up for what you need in dating. If you need to take a hammer to crush up your face to look like Chad, if you need to do steroids and cycle from age 14, this guy, 14, you're doing steroids, like you're literally destroying your human physiology, which, making yourself look, let me say this. In the Bible, it literally says, God literally out of his own mouth says that he does not want you being effeminate. When you start putting on the makeup, when you start going to these extremities, it is kind of dancing in a line of like being effeminate in a masculine way, which is just so, it's like psycho. It's something wrong in your brain when you think that you have to max out your attractiveness beyond nature, right? Now, if you do use your normal body and you're taking care of your skin, you're on a good skincare routine, you're taking care of your hygiene, you're flossing your teeth, you're whitening your teeth, you're making sure your haircuts are good, you're spraying cologne, you're spraying deodorant, you look good, your hands and nails are well maintained, and even that collab guy, I'm sure that he felt like he was not attractive physically to the opposite sex. But usually to be attractive to the opposite sex, all you have to do is be the opposite sex, right? Like when you're a guy and you walk past a girl, they're attractive for being female and not much else. They don't really have to do much. Usually, if you're not invisible to women, it's pretty much the same thing if you're in the dating market. But that guy himself, he seems pretty cool, pretty calm, pretty collective, and he commands the room when he talks. And he's overtly doing that as his attraction mechanisms and his attraction signals. So that in and of itself, in any human body that is male in attracting a female, usually is going to have the components you need to work anyway. So look, if you're a girl, don't go be a whore to have men. And if you're a guy, don't turn into a psychopath to have women. These extremities are not going to help you. You're going to have to meet somewhere in the middle. You're going to have to do this thing the right way.
Yeah, definitely. And the stat on that was, I said 1 in 4 men have procreated since the beginning of the time. It was only 40% of men have procreated from the beginning of time. So that's like 1.5 fourths of a dude has procreated.
Less than half.
Yeah, less than half. So if you going to the extent of looks maxing, if that saved you from being able to find a mate and have kids, it may have been worth it then. Because if we know that almost under half of dudes have procreated since the beginning of time, and let's say the 60% of dudes who didn't procreate, so 60% of guys haven't procreated. So over half of the dudes haven't procreated. So if them going to the extent of looks maxing would save them from being able to have kids,
No, save them from not being able to procreate, right?
No, save them from being able to procreate, or save them from not being able to procreate.
Right.
So yeah,
like not passing on your seed. Now, if it saves them from death and no procreation.
yeah. So that saved them from being able to not procreate. So now that they can, either way, so now they get to have kids because they went to the extent of looks maxing. I would say that is worth it. Then it sounds crazy because we're taking it at face value when we say this person is going crazy because they're beating their face with a hammer, doing all this shit. He actually, his old self, he was such a fucking loser that no girl would have had sex with him. Now he just turned himself into a winner, or he turned himself into a guy that girls actually want, and now he gets to have kids. So now that's actually worth it. It's the same thing as a girl getting a fucking BBL and now she sees some millionaire at a grocery store. He wouldn't have approached her if she didn't have a BBL a lot of times. So her life just changed. So now it's like, is her getting that BBL worth it? It's like that just changed her fucking life. That same dude who might not have approached her if she didn't have those lip fillers or she didn't have a BBL or the breast implants, she got that, and now she's able to attract a way higher status guy because she got that, and it just changed her whole life. So we might look at this shit like it's crazy, but it goes back to our survival mode, our mating strategies. Mating is
Hyper competition.
Hyper competition. Mating is cutthroat. We would kill people off. We would kill the girl's ex-dude or ex-husband if she had kids with him, so we can maintain and protect our family. So it's everything that's going on is just us in our natural state, survival mode, procreating. We're just doing it in like a modern time, modern day way of doing things. It's just the same shit that we've been doing years back, but just in a different way. So it's worth it if you ask me. Now that I think about it and look at it that way, if you're beating your face with a hammer and you were a fucking loser, fat fuck that no one liked 10 years ago and you got the result that you wanted, does it really matter if you get the result? Like, results is all that really matters. Yeah, you could say, how did you get it? Yeah. So if you did what you do and you got the result and you got what you're looking for, it's like, hey, you won. Because if you didn't do that, if you stayed the fat fuck or you maybe got in a little better shape and you didn't get the result, people are just going to look at you like you're a loser. So results are all that really matters.
Bruh. Okay, so let's break that down too, right? Like it is an option on the table. So we are coming up on a society where I'm going to watch these videos with you and react on here, right? Like kids today, bro, the way that they're being raised in the public school is so bad. Like kids go to class, don't know their real name. Like they're only called by their nickname at home, so they don't even know their real name when they're raising their hands for attendance. Like things are so bad that like when kids are giving tests for school and it says like, make sure that you read the instructions, you need to write down the answer as such. Like sometimes what they'll do is they'll just like repeat what was said, write down the answer as such as the answer. Like it's like school is so leaving cognitive ability behind that people are maxed out from iPads and they have no ability to kind of reason and use cognitive ability. Like the teachers that I'm talking about, they'll break down their student interaction like this. Like the students will see things with their eyes and operate with their hands, but nothing goes into the brain. So we might be coming up on a generation of a bunch of losers and fat fucks like we were just talking about, right? We really, you and me are literally leading the next generation into success. So on a range of success, right? We have plan A, plan B, plan C, plan D, plan whatever, right? So in my best advice for you guys, plan A, if you want to be attractive to the opposite sex, get in shape. Get your money up. Get charismatic, become charming, become social, have sex with a lot of girls so you can understand the nature of women, become personable, get yourself out there. That's more like on the plan A side. Where would you put looks maxing? Like if you're on a detriment, where do you got to whip out this like trump card?
I don't know. There's some dudes out there who just don't stand a chance. Of course, the first option is what you're saying. Get better, put in the work, put in the hard work, and put in every day, just slow grind, make it happen. But some people, just don't stand a chance. Like, everyone can get better, but I'm like, now when I look at looks maxing people, I'm like, maybe if I look at like their before and after picture, and I'm like, that's probably a good thing. That's probably a good move that you did that. Like,
it's like plastic surgery without plastic surgery too. Like, that used to be psycho. That used to be crazy. Plastic, bro. Do you know a show called Nip Tuck?
no.
Never even heard of it, bro. Nip Tuck was like a show that came out when I was a kid, and Nip Tuck is a show about two men like ourselves that are both plastic surgeons. So they open up a plastic surgeon office in Miami, and they go through the ups and the downs of the craziness that is plastic surgery to look more attractive to the opposite sex, right? Like, that was, at the time, it was like the biggest, most crazy, most changing the pulse of society type of content that you could put out there. And now looks maxing is basically like, yo, I'm gonna just do it at home with a hammer because I'm too broke to get the money to go do plastic surgery anyway.
Yeah, and it's like, if I looks max and I got the outcome that I wanted, if we both wanted that 10 girl that we saw at the grocery store at the Starbucks, and I did looks maxing and you didn't, and I looked better than you, and I got her and you didn't, then it's like, who really won? So it's like, I guess the process really doesn't matter. It's all about the results. So it just comes down to what you can take as a person and how you want to go about it. And it's like, it's easy to, and I've been there. When I saw looks maxing, I'm like, this is like gay as fuck, like looks maxing. But then I'm looking at them like, you're just competing to become the best possible person that they can be. And they go about it a funny way that I wouldn't go about it. But if you're getting that result, what else really matters?
Yeah, bro. My message to you, the average person watching our clips or our videos, is do a little bit more Jesus maxing, bro. That's my recommendation. Try that before looks maxing, before I start troll maxing all of you.
So what about this? Let's say you have a dude, because another thing is, something that I think about is like, you can play in the NBA, you can play in the D League, you can go overseas and play in these different leagues. The competition, the NBA has the best competition. You're going to play against the best players. You play against in the D League, the competition's not as hard. You play overseas, the competition's not as hard. So if you play in the NBA, you have to become the best version of yourself. America, when it comes to dating, is the NBA. It's the NFL. It's the best dating league there is. So if you're not the best version, you're not going to win anything. So it's like, do you go to the extent to be the best, or do you just find another market at your worst? Because if you're an American fat guy, you might be able to go to South America and have a higher status just because you're American, but you're still fat and you're not attractive. You're just in a lower dating pool now, or in a place that's not as competitive. So it's like, I don't know. I would respect a guy more, I believe, if he looks max and he got the results and he stayed in America versus a fat guy just going somewhere else and not putting in any work at all and just winning somewhere else. And it's like, because he's still just a fat, loser with, like, you know what I'm saying? So
like,
would you rather a guy who stays a loser, like physically, mentally, but he just goes to play somewhere else? He's a passport bro and he just goes to a different country and starts to win, but he's still a loser physically, versus a guy who's looks maxing in the best field and he's getting the results? Like, which one?
Like, theoretically, the results are the only thing that matter. Theoretically, the bills still need to be paid. You know, like, it doesn't matter if you want to run a business, you need money. If you want to live a life, you need to pay your bills. The results are the only thing that matters at the end of the day. Women love conditionally. They never love unconditionally, right? Women love you under the condition that you can provide for them, they can extract resources for you, that you can take care of them, that you meet the certain requirements. So, like, if working hard, getting up early, putting time into your craft, and being disciplined, and getting your money up, and leveling up, and getting your money, muscles, and game on point did not achieve getting women, and cold approaching didn't work for you, and you're really that ugly, and like plan Z is looks maxing, and that's what you got to do, and I say, hey bro, here's the steroid and here's the hammer, go crush your skull up to make those cheekbones nice and pretty. Yeah, I mean, if you gotta do that, you are at the bottom of the totem pole, because another thing about that is that you're at the height of superficiality. So now abundance and real things like love, character, respect, like the interpersonal components that are going to make you a real person, if those things have escaped you and fleeted from you, and now you no longer have any of that, and you're at the bottom of your game, and girls are not attracted to you off just the simple stuff that you could do in cold approach, like, what's that guy? That guy, Mystery, I think. Mystery, yeah, right. I don't know much about Mystery because I did not study cold approach. I just am cold approach, right? So Mystery, he's got some cool things. He'll be like, yo, I wear like a unique piece of clothing, and I talk about it when I'm with a girl, and that leads to a good story, and that leads to like me connecting with her and talking to her. If you can't do these basic things that we're telling you, and you're so at the bottom of the barrel of superficiality, and nothing else worked, and you want to inject some steroids into your ass and hit your face with a hammer, please go for it if you think that's going to bring you the result. For sure. I implore you to do it.
Yeah, it's fucking insane. Hey, do what you got to do to win. Of course, looks maxing isn't, if you come to me and say, okay, the first option is to put in the work, the hard work, but then if that shit doesn't work for you, or you're just someone who's completely far gone, if the result is you procreating and getting the girl that you want, if you got to go to the extent of looks maxing, then you got to do what you got to do to get the result. Now, I don't condone doing shit that's going to put your life in danger, that's going to possibly off yourself or kill you. Then I don't condone. It
includes meth and makeup.
I don't condone that. But outside of that, if it's like you can stay healthy and looks max, do it. If that's gonna get you the girl that you want, then do it. And yeah, because we're playing this game on hard mode, so it's and that's another thing why leaving the country it may be a better deal, is because like you're paying a higher price for something that costs less when it comes to dating in America. For example, you're putting in more work, but you're getting less in return with dealing with women in America. So it's like if you go to another country, you can be a loser and still get a better girls than out here. So it may make more sense.
And that's something that we teach you to select for, that I even select for. Like, if the woman is lower than you on socioeconomic status, this is attractive. That is what you want to select for. You know what I mean? Like, another country will automatically do that. Because here in America, see, that's the thing. America is such a great country, and it is such a beautiful country, and it can be used for business, and it is so prosperous that your natural socioeconomic status as an American is so much higher than a third world country, that just by virtue of you entering the third world country, so many people are at a lower socioeconomic income that you're instantly attractive because you're so much higher up on the totem pole. That is a match made in heaven, bruv. If you can make sure you avoid those lady boys in Thailand and you find a real girl, yeah, you're in a good spot. You know what I'm saying? Because like you could spend $14 in Thailand and live like a king for a week with your food, apparently, versus like, you can spend $14 on a granola bar here in America. Good luck. You know what I'm saying? But like now, okay, but I'm just remembering some of the clips that I've seen of the looks max and stuff out here, right? And I'll say that I know that this guy, who I'm not like fully making an opinion on yet, because I'd have to talk to him first in reality, see where he is in the world. Basically, I understand that he does meth, and like the other stuff is really weird. It's like the dudes go into like Sephora together, and they do each other's makeup, and they're all touching each other's faces, and they're all like making sure that they're extending the cheekbones to have the. Hey, if you have to do this to get women, exit the game, bro. Exit the game. If this is what you need to do to get women, just MGTOW, bro. Fuck that. Become one of the 60 that die, bro. This is some super gay stuff that you got to do to get a girl. Hell to the nah. This, if it ever gets like truly, truly, truly that bad, we'll make a whole new class for y'all guys, man, because that's just too far. If another dude touches my face with makeup, I'm gonna knock him out, bro. I can't have that shit.
Damn. I would say this looks maxing is better than going MGTOW. Like if you're a guy who says, I don't want to. I'm just not gonna talk to. That is.
That's for y'all, bro.
That's like the lowest. Like, if we're gonna go down the hierarchy of just being gay and just going down that path, it would have to be looks maxing then MGTOW. If you're a guy who just says I don't want to talk to women at all, I'm just gonna go MGTOW. Like, that is. If that's not gay, then what is? Like, okay, if you're not gonna talk to women, then what are you gonna do? Like, what's the next option?
Bro, you gonna die alone with cats like a chick, which I guess is kind of gay. So yeah, you're like when you're forced with those extremities, when it's that bad, bro, eject. Put the eject button. If it's that bad, try other countries, bro. I don't care if you gotta walk there by foot. There is walk through the forest. There's got to be a fairy in there that you could fucking make kids with, bro. Anything is better than hammer and chisel your face like Chad. Bro, I'd literally rather know that you went to a plastic surgeon. You know what was a good move? I think Zerka doing the veneers. That was a good move. That was a pretty damn cool move. Did you ever see that?
I saw him.
Anytime you see Zerka, those big ass white teeth, that's all veneers. He did that shit in Miami. I think that was one hell of a solid normal improvement. The homie just like got like chiclets for teeth, bro.
Well, what if there was like a special procedure that would be done by a doctor if you go there and he like doesn't beat you with a hammer, but it's some kind of special tool. It's not necessarily you just going, but it's more socially accepted and it's more professional. Then it's that
plastic surgery. That's just plastic surgery.
They're just so you could argue that they're getting more of a bang for their buck.
Woo! He's trollbacking y'all right now.
But so it's like they're doing the work. Yeah.
Like a nose job, you have to break the nose to do it. You know, something in your skulls get broken if you need to be more physically attractive in that way.
Yeah, I'm personally going out of the country before I looks max, but I'm thinking about a dude who's just a straight like just loser who has no chance, who's just like
they're on the rise. This is the sad reality. This is why we're even entertaining this for you guys, because it does feel like literally beneath us. This feels like absolute trash. But like, unfortunately, character, components, interpersonal development, love, genuineness, honor, discipleship, discipline, the basic tenements of being a 5-star gentleman seem to be escaping the average American going through the public school system. And this might be an unfortunate reality that we have a generation of psychopaths that are superficial with no depth of anything inside them at all. And if we are going down this path and I start meeting dudes that I can only recognize by the hammer dents in their face because they broke the cheekbones so the cheekbones would grow back bigger, like how fighters used to do with their knuckles, because they're hoping for sex. You're somewhere in between the biggest imp of all imps and someone that is on his last dying wish to pass on some sperm, to pass on some genes, to pass on some lineage. If that's where this goes, bruh, y'all need 5-star, man. We're out here for you.
Yeah, do what you got to do to procreate. That's what I like. Do what you got to do to win the game. Hey, I might not go that way. I might agree with it, but if you do what you got to do to win, like, that's just what it is. Like, I'd rather someone put in the hard work, the slow grind. But if you get this, if you're a person who inside it doesn't morally feel wrong to do certain things, and you're that person, that's just, hey, you got to win. Results is what matters.
Yeah. Listen, at the end of the day, don't listen to anybody about anything if you don't got results. Results are the only thing that matters. Results are the only thing that people actually give a shit about. Even in the social media world, bro, people only care about followers. People only care about views. People only care about clips. People only care about what they can get from you. People only care about the hierarchy. This is real reality. We really live in real competition. And unfortunately, this is what you're dealing with sex. So we should probably do like a whole episode on looks maxing, like a whole breakdown of it. We had a dude that's in our brotherhood come up in here talking about that's something he wanted to do with the content, and I guess if it's catching the interest of the young guys, man, we gotta catch it.
Yeah, that's what it is. And if you're looks maxing, if you're buying fake followers and that fake following got you the girl that you want because she believed that you were of higher status because you had that following and you got her. It's like you got the results. So it's like it's only fake if you don't get what you want. But if you start getting what you want based off like fabricated stuff or going about it a way that doesn't uphold a highest form of integrity, but you still got the result, then no one really cares, honestly. Like,
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah.
if going, and it all comes down to your moral compass. That's that we all have like different moral compass about like something that I might do. It may make you feel bad about it or someone else feel bad about it, and vice versa. So it's just all about. It's something that guides us. Like it's just within. So if you're someone who doesn't feel bad about looks maxing, if you don't feel bad about fake followers or whatever the case is, or it doesn't morally feel wrong, then go about it if you get the results that way. As long as you're not hurting anyone or hurting yourself for the most part, then do what you got to do. Do what you got to do to win. That's my message here.
Yeah, if you want to hit your face with a hammer, do some steroids, take pictures with the fake Lamborghini, be at the top of the Miami life, go out there, start looks maxing, get that girl. I'm going to be Jesus maxing. But that being said, we're about to close out this episode, bro. This has been a solid year of me and Tez doing the 5-star live stream for you guys, man. This is literally New Year's Eve. We are out here for y'all, bruv. I got so much to say. Check this out, man. We literally came to this podcast. We literally built this show to make you guys better, man. We built this show. We built this studio. We built everything that you see here to add value, to invest into you guys, to build up an army, to fight against the propaganda ruthlessly, to build community, and to start society. We have done everything that we can to bring you guys the next level of legacy, and we're gonna relentlessly keep doing this stuff forever. There is no stop. We're doing this to the future. We will never stop bringing you guys valuable content. And I got to say, man, it's been nothing but rewarding for the people that our show has touched. I, in my life, literally meet people now, and all they say is stuff about the clips that they've seen on the show. This is us now. We don't have any other identity. I've never had a birthday. I've never been a person. I never went on an event. I'm nothing more than this show to people, which is really cool because, we came and we wanted to make sure that the basic fundamentals that's locked inside my head and Tez's head, the basic structure, just speaking the truth, like ruthlessly telling you the truth, not listening to anybody, not listening to society, not listening to women, not listening to teachers, not listening to the BS on YouTube, not listening to the government, but just sticking to the truth has been a guiding force and a guiding factor that has protected us many times throughout our life. And we want that protection and that guiding force and that way to navigate reality to be bestowed onto you guys. We need you to we need you to share, we need you to be a part of this community. We need you to be a part of everything that we're building here, because everything that you've seen this year has just been just the start of so much that we're going to do for you guys. I can't wait to make it happen.
Yes, go. We out here. We're just going to continue to grow, get better, and grind it out. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, show some love, give us some feedback. Let us know what you want to see. But we're going to keep getting better and upgrading the studio, the podcast, so we can bring you the best quality possible and stay consistent. We out here.
We out here, big dog.